Hello, everyone. I am being joined today by New York Times best-selling author John Green. John is also a successful YouTuber, but you guys probably already know that because he has millions of subscribers. So, welcome, John.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
Oh, it's great to have you here. Now, on Thursday, you're going to be speaking at Oakland University, and the university has already opened up an overflow room because of high demand. So, people are really excited
Wow.
about your talk. Give us a preview.
It's really exciting for me actually because I'll be talking with one of the actors from The Fault in Our Stars film. One of my books, The Fault in Our Stars, was turned into a movie back in 2014. And the woman who played the father of the mother of the main character is going to be interviewing me because she's a professor at Oakland University. So I'm really excited. We'll be talking about a huge variety of topics from my film work to my writing to my recent sort of foray into global health activism.
You know what? I was going to ask you about that. Milika Govich is the OU
Yeah.
professor. So, how excited are you to be reuniting with her after all these years?
Oh, she's such a wonderfully talented actor and such a great person. And so it'll be really lovely to be able to see her again and to share a stage with her.
I bet. Now, talk about the fault of our stars. I know I'm not alone when I say I cried my eyes out on that movie. That
Yeah,
movie,
it was a sad movie.
it was.
I remember watching it with my wife at the little screening room that the studio set up for us in Los Angeles. And Sarah turned to me at the end of it and she said, "I don't know if it's good, but it's definitely sad."
Well, it was fantastic. Even though it was sad, it was so good. And I wanted to ask you, when you were writing that, did you know that you had a hit on your hands?
No, definitely not. I mean, I thought that I was writing that book for a very small audience because it is so intense. And I wrote it in a period of intense grief in my own life. And so I thought that, that was not going to be a book that resonated broadly. I hope it was going to be a book that resonated deeply with people, but I never imagined that it would become the phenomenon that it did. And I'm, looking back, I have nothing but gratitude for that experience.
And you actually had a role in that movie. What was that like for you to actually play a role in a movie in a book you wrote?
Well, I was terrible. I think everybody would agree about that. I have no acting talent whatsoever, but it was fun to, be behind the camera is a lot more comfortable for me, I think, when it comes to movies. But I had a great time, and it's just a cool experience to be with all those talented actors.
Well, you're actually living a life that I think a lot of people would love to, do the same thing as far as they write a book and then it gets turned into a movie. So, talk with us a little bit about the process of your book going from a best-selling novel to becoming a movie.
Well, this was my fourth book, The Fault in Our Stars, and so I'd had the experience of selling the rights to Hollywood and then being disappointed a number of times before they actually made a movie. And so I didn't ever think a movie was actually going to come out. But when they started filming it, I mean, it's a really amazing experience. If you have a good experience, which I have, fortunately. It's a really amazing experience to see words that you thought of being spoken by real people and to see places that you imagined becoming real. It's quite surreal, but really lovely.
Well, and I would like to ask you, because I know a lot of writers and screenwriters, what tips would you have for a writer who would like to option a book and turn it into a movie?
Well, I think, it involves a lot of luck, is the truth. I mean, I've had great luck in Hollywood for a long time. I also had bad luck, but I've had great luck in the last 10 years. Yeah, I think it involves a lot of luck, but I also think that you have to write, you have to write the story as a story, not as a movie, if that makes sense. And then let the screenwriters and other people handle it. If you're a novelist like me, like I never think about whether or not a book would be a good movie. I'm thinking about whether or not it would be a good book. And if it's a good enough book and it resonates with enough people, the movie side of it will take care of itself.
Hmm. And so what about say an independent filmmaker or a screenwriter who says, you know what, I love John Green's book. I'm going to approach him about optioning it. What advice would you have for somebody like that?
come with a really strong pitch, and a firm idea of what you want to do, and also a little bit of history, a little bit of work that you've done before, whether it got made or not. I remember reading the screenplay of the guys who wrote the Fault in Our Stars movie and just being blown away. Not the Fault in Our Stars screenplay, but the previous screenplay they'd written, and just being blown away by that and feeling like if they can write that, then they can do this for sure.
Wow, I think that's some fantastic advice. Well, now, as we mentioned earlier, your podcast, you have a couple and you have millions of subscribers. What's the secret?
Well, as far as I know, the secret is starting in 2007. So my brother and I have been making YouTube videos for almost 19 years. And we had a huge advantage because we were very early to the platform and we had a long time to learn how to make good videos and had a long time for our community to grow up with us. And we're really fortunate in that respect. I do think it makes sense to try to find new platforms, new places where people are sharing stuff and try to take advantage of the newness of them. That's certainly what benefited Hank and I the most. But I also think you have to make stuff that's compelling to people. Even if you have a small audience, you have to have a really passionate audience. Achoo!
Oh,
Sorry,
bless
I
you.
had to sneeze. Thank
That's
you.
okay. Now, speaking of your brother Hank, how did the two of you come together and decide, let's do this YouTube series together?
Well, we were fans of really early online video projects, like before YouTube even existed. There was some stuff that Hank and I really liked, and it was one of the main things we talked about with each other. Hank and I actually weren't very close because I went to boarding school when my brother was 11, so I never knew him as a teenager or an adult, really. But we really admired each other. And so we kind of used this idea of making YouTube videos together as a way of getting close or as a way of reconnecting. And that's worked brilliantly. I mean, now we talk every day. We talk all the time. We work together on everything. So it definitely helped us become closer, which was the initial purpose of the project.
Now, you live in Indiana. Is he in Indiana also?
No, Hank lives in Montana, so we don't get to see each other in real life that often, but we do connect every day.
Now, as a fellow Midwesterner, you could live anywhere. Why
Yeah.
Indiana? Why not Hollywood or New York or some quote unquote glamorous place?
Well, Hollywood and New York don't appeal that much to me. I lived in New York for a couple of years and I found it very stressful. It was fun, but it was also stressful and expensive and difficult. Um, I love Indianapolis. I love my friends here. It's a great place to raise a family. I love our home. I just love our life here. And the things that I really value about life, like having a garden and being able to garden with my mom and stuff like that. That's stuff that's possible in Indianapolis that wouldn't be possible in another city. But at the same time, it's a great city. I mean, you have a similar story in Michigan. Like, Detroit is a great city, but also, you could have a vegetable garden, or if you're lucky, you can anyway. And so, being able to do that, have that at the same time, is very valuable to me.
Now, I can't help but notice that ladder behind you with all those books. Tell
Yeah.
us, what are some of the books that grab your attention that you're reading?
Oh, I just read a great book by Rebecca Makkai called "I Have Some Questions for You." That's sort of a wonderful novel set at a liberal arts college. I also really love Kaveh Akbar's book "Martyr," which I just read. Beautiful book about, understanding the weight of trauma in our lives and what we owe each other and owe ourselves. And just that's a book I can't stop thinking about. So those are a couple that I recommend from recently.
Mm. So I want to ask you another question about The Fault in Our Stars. Now, I know from being a writer that it's not easy to get people to cry, and you actually did that. What's the secret to that?
Well, I think you just have to get people emotionally invested in characters. Once you're emotionally invested in characters, you're going to laugh with them, you're going to cry with them, you're going to feel everything that they feel. One of the magic things about reading for me is that when you're reading a novel that you're really invested in, you're not thinking about it in necessarily in the context of yourself. You're thinking about it from their perspective. You're inhabiting the perspective of that character, which is almost magic because we're stuck for the whole time we're here inside of one body, looking out at the world through one set of eyes, through one consciousness. But reading can really allow us to glimpse what it might be like to be someone else. And that's one of the great powerful things about reading for me. I mean, I remember when I was a high school student, I read Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. That was the first time I ever had that experience of like being outside of myself and trying to imagine what it would be like to be someone other than me, someone with a very different life. And that power, that magic has just stayed with me ever since.
Wow. Well, tell me, are there any other books that you're working on? What are you doing now?
I'm trying to write a book. I'm always trying to write a book, but it's never easy for me. I mean, it's easier than most jobs. I don't want to complain, but I'm trying to write a book. It's a Hollywood story, actually. So it's set in LA and it's about two kids who are in a movie.
Two kids at a movie. Wow, that's a simple concept.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I don't, I've never had a great idea that way, like wizard school or whatever, vampires in high school. I've never had an idea like that. All my ideas are pretty simple and straightforward.
But some people say those are the best ones.
I think they work for me.
Hmm. Okay. Well, now, Oakland University, when they approached you about coming to speak, what did you think? Did you immediately say yes, or did you think about it a little bit and contemplate it?
Oh, I immediately said yes. I mean, it's such a great opportunity for me to be able to connect. It's so important to my work, I think, to be able to connect with college students and understand some of what they're thinking and see their questions and interact with them and learn from them. But I try to do that at least 10 or 12 times a year.
Oh, are there any future plans for you to maybe be a professor yourself?
Oh no, I'm a terrible teacher. I like making educational videos a lot, and I enjoy that part of teaching. But the part of teaching where you have to like interact with human beings and everything, I'm not very good at that part. So I think I'm gonna stay a screen away from folks for now.
Okay, great. Well, I think I have everything I need unless there's something else you would like to add.
No, this has been great. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, great. Okay, well, best of luck tomorrow. Not that you need it because everybody's waiting to see it. So thank you for this interview, and everything's going to go well tomorrow, I know.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.